All the shit I did for my living life as a slave, nigga, be right back.
All right, boom. What's up, YouTube? This video is titled Why Europe is Addicted to Cocaine. Now, I live in Europe, if y'all don't know. I live in Germany, to be exact. And yeah, there's some cities that are highly afflicted by all kinds of drugs. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to mention too many right now because we're in the start of this video. But y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, what's the difference between Europe and the drugs that are in circulation over here in comparison to like the States or Asia? I wonder what's the exact difference. But we can rely on Fern to break it down for us. So let's get it. Boom.
Que la guerra contra las drogas ha fracasado rotundamente.
We need to talk about cocaine.
Especially in East Germany, it's really, really easy to get.
Y'all see that? See? That's what I'm talking about. Something wrong with Germany.
Drugs, even hard ones.
You can just walk into a club and get your hands on something in under 5 minutes.
Europe's cocaine crisis is getting wider and deeper.
The coke is everywhere.
It's pretty much the most profitable substance in the entire world.
From blackmail to kidnappings and torture, criminal gangs have unleashed an unprecedented wave of drug-related violence.
All the big Colombian drug dealers, they going to Europe. It's easier to import the drug.
It'll only end up with you being captured or killed.
One of the Netherlands' most renowned crime reporters has been shot and seriously wounded in Amsterdam.
A set of shipping...
Amsterdam? I've been to Amsterdam and I wanted to go again. You're not safe anywhere, bro. You're not safe anywhere. Always keep your head on a swivel because there's some evil ass people out there. And that's why I say it in damn near every video, but you got to believe in God, man, because these dudes are going to get away with all their crime and then there's going to be no punishment. So let's hope there's going to be a punishment in the hereafter for these guys, man.
Containers converted into a makeshift prison with a soundproof torture chamber.
I mean, look at this intro is beautiful. It's like a movie. Bow! What a beautiful shout out, Fern. Shout out Fan, Fern, Fanzane, whatever your name is, Fan. I really appreciate it because this is awesome. This is truly awesome.
These days, cocaine is everywhere. On TV, in music, in clubs, and at work.
You ordered Diet Coke, that's a joke, right? Ooh, girl, bump for life.
We wanted to know more about this drug. Where does it come from? What does it do to those who consume it? And why is it all of a sudden flooding Europe? We had a ton of questions. So we started looking for answers. From scientists, experts, doctors, users, and you. A few months ago, we asked viewers of our German channel to share.
Okay, hey, wir arbeiten gerade an einem Video über Kokain. Eure Kommentare unter dem Crystal Meth Video haben uns sehr inspiriert und bewegt. Vielleicht können uns einige von euch helfen, wenn ihr selbst regelmäßig oder ab und zu Koks nimmt. Fuck? Literally saying, well, in case you took cocaine yourself, let us know about your experience.
Their experiences with cocaine. Nearly 4,000 of them reached out to us. From all their stories, we created these characters.
Wow.
They're based on real people from Germany, but we changed their voices and fictionalized their names. Of course, their stories aren't representative of society in general, but they do help us better understand cocaine. Let's dive in.
Right.
Tony just started his shift as a doorman at the club, but he's already fighting off exhaustion.
I work 12-hour shifts in my main job. It's a 2-shift system, days and nights. A constant, unhealthy change. You just run out of energy after a while.
Inside the club, Linda has just arrived.
We drop our stuff off at the coat check and head to the bathroom. That's just standard protocol.
Across the street, Max and his crew are at their favorite bar. He's feeling tense.
I get overwhelmed when everyone starts talking over each other.
Upstairs, Nick is getting ready for a long night of World of Warcraft. In the room next door, Lars dodges another call from his parents. They've been blowing up his phone for days. Meanwhile, Marco is the last one left at the office. He has a few more important deals to close.
I can work all night and only crash for a few hours around noon.
They all have one thing in common. They do coke. They snort the white powder through a small tube or through rolled up bills. That's not just a cliche. Most people take cocaine by snorting it. Coke is everywhere in Europe. Surveys indicate that over 1.2% of all Europeans.
Doesn't it hurt? Don't you feel uncomfortable? Does it smell, taste good? Like, I don't want to know. I just want to know, like, without having to do it myself. I'm not stupid. I'm not the type, well, you're never going to know until you try it yourself. You might as well try it. No, fuck that. Fuck that. That's why I got you idiots to do it for me.
Between the ages of 15 and 64 do cocaine at least once a year. Among the 15 to 34-year-olds, it's almost... 15
is crazy, bro. 15? 16, 17 is crazy. 18 is crazy. 19, it doesn't matter. Everything is fucking crazy.
3%. That's roughly 2.7 million people.
Es gibt kaum eine Gruppe, in der Kokain nicht angekommen ist.
Heike Zurhold is a sociologist and criminologist.
Well, what about Black American Muslims? How about that? What about that? That were raised partially in Germany. How about there's not many of me, I think.
We met her at the University Medical Center in Hamburg. She probably knows cocaine users, at least here in Germany, better than any other researcher.
Ja, wahrscheinlich.
Zurhold studies addiction here at the Center for Interdisciplinary Addiction Research. She's spent the last several years interviewing hundreds of users from all walks of life and their cocaine use. The hype around the substance worries her. So does the fact that many people believe they can handle it just fine.
What does the hype mean? What hype, though? I haven't experienced any cocaine hype, thank God, but still, like, what kind of hype are they experiencing?
Some can, but others lose control without even realizing it.
I'm in love with the coco. Okay. But I like the music, though. I'm in love with
Research indicates a trend over the last few years. Young people in Europe are drinking and smoking less on average, but using significantly more cocaine.
That doesn't make me want to do coke. Like, I don't get it.
Heike Zurhold explains this has a lot to do with its ever-increasing availability. Cocaine has never been easier to come by. Global production is hitting new highs every year, and coke is quick and easy to consume, making it a perfect fit for our fast-paced world. But what exactly happens inside the heads of people on cocaine?
Nothing. Bunch of bullshit.
When we laugh, our brains release dopamine. Dopamine motivates us and drives our desire to take action. It's widely considered a key part of the reward system in our brains. During an orgasm, dopamine levels in the brain rise by about 80%. With crystal meth, that number jumps to around 1,400%.
What?
Which is why the drug is so incredibly addictive.
I cannot imagine what that feels like. 1,004. I thought making love was crazy. I thought the way I feel making love was insane. I don't want to know what 1,400 feels like. Shoot. At that point, why have sex anymore?
Da kann man sich ungefähr die Dimension vorstellen, wie stark dieser Kick ist und wie unvergesslich ein solcher Zustand ist schon beim allerersten Konsum.
This is Professor Mulick from Chemnitz University. We talked to him for our documentary on crystal meth. The link is in the description. A cocaine rush isn't as intense as the one you get from meth. According to some estimates, coke increases dopamine release by around 200 to 400% when it's snorted, depending on dosage.
We're talking about crystal meth. Oh shit, okay. Still, that's crazy.
And purity. Still, it's a massive kick.
Yeah.
Crushing that powder almost felt like a ritual because you knew that very soon everything would feel a bit more intense. Everything would shine a bit brighter.
I can feel it in my nose, feel it slowly running down my throat.
That's how you know it's getting into your system.
Your heartbeat picks up, everything is pulsing. Your whole body is tingling and you can automatically feel your mood go up.
And all of a sudden you feel strong and pumped.
I feel prettier on the outside too.
Yeah, fuck that, bro. I'm good. I'm straight. all I needed was this video. It's not like I was gonna do it either way, but like still, that's crazy. 300% is crazy.
Like I'm growing from the inside.
Like once you're sober, or like once the cocaine is out of your system, life must be so depressing, because once that feeling is over, like you're feeling all magical and shit, but still, like once the feeling is over, life is gray at that point. It's got to be so dull.
You just feel bigger and extremely confident.
Wow.
I'm just happy, man. Like, genuinely happy. I get to enjoy life. It's just a really cool feeling.
From the nasal cavity, the substance quickly makes its way through the mucous membrane and into the brain. The high kicks in within just a few minutes. Heart rate and blood pressure rise.
The editing is amazing.
Breathing gets faster and body temperature starts to climb.
Okay.
With cocaine, the most intense part of the high hits within 15 minutes.
Wow.
That's when you reach peak euphoria and feel the most uplifted. It keeps you awake and makes you feel invincible, cool, and uninhibited. Over the next hour or so, that effect fades.
No wonder John Bones Jones took that stuff.
There are many reasons why people use cocaine.
Hey, this
Sociologist Heike Zurhold has identified 4 main user groups, and they correspond surprisingly well with what our community told us in their messages. By far the largest group is recreational users.
Party. Thank God I was never into parties, bro. I'm so glad. Look at this goofy ass. What is... I don't get this party shit. Look at this. How is this cool?
Did cocaine on a night out. I can feel my face when I'm with you.
Many users take cocaine at parties, mostly on weekends. The problem is that some end up taking too much of it or mixing it with alcohol. Linda is one of them.
Stupid.
Tonight, she wants to go all in.
Have fun, a couple of beers, a couple of lines,
What's fun about
connect
this?
with friends. I guess that's what I want out of a good night out.
It only takes a quick trip to the club bathroom to shake off all that nasty weekday stress. Linda feels awake, confident, and ready to party till dawn.
That's when the
you know what? I know something better than cocaine, man. I get a dopamine kick of 30,000%. It's called subscribe, man. It's called subscribing. Subscribe to the channel, man. I just wanted to put that out there.
Winning starts. They've done a line and I've done a line, and we all just look at each other and smile.
To really feel the music at a concert.
Without it, you couldn't really last a whole night. At
Oh,
a
somebody
club.
subscribe.
Linda doesn't stop at one line. To make it through the whole night, she'll be heading to the bathroom a few more times to top herself up. After an hour, the effect is gone. That's when many feel the need to take more. Zurhold urges users to keep track of time and take long breaks between doses to avoid ODing. For Linda and other users, partying on cocaine has another beneficial side effect. She can handle more alcohol. At least, that's what it feels like. So she has a few more drinks than usual, and she's not alone.
Debauchery is so lame.
Hat oft das Gefühl, dass man unter Kokain nicht betrunken wird. Das ist aber falsch. Natürlich wird man auch betrunken, man merkt es nur nicht.
Wow.
Und das ist eine große Gefahr.
The mix of cocaine and alcohol creates a byproduct called cocaethylene in the body. It acts similarly to cocaine, but stays in the system.
I can barely handle milk and chicken together. Like, let's be honest. What the fuck?
Much longer. That increases the risk of a fatal overdose by up to 25 times. When you work the door at a club, alcohol is off limits. But before his shift, Tony's already done his first line of the night.
Sometimes I'll do it with a coworker, as a sort of social interaction, you know?
Tony belongs to the second group, those who use cocaine as a social icebreaker, to loosen up around other people. He's shy and introverted by nature, which isn't always ideal when you work as a bouncer. Making small talk with guests is much easier on coke.
These days, it just helps me talk.
What a goofball, bro. What a goofball. Then why are you at that job? Work at a gas station at midnight or some shit. Should not be for you, bro.
Through all the crap you have to say all night. Like, hey, what's up? Can I see some ID? And I'm gonna have a look at your bag. It's
What a antisocial, was ein asozialer weirdo douchebag. Huh? Oh, I can't handle the small talk. Show me your ID, sir. This is too much. Oh my God. What is wrong with this guy?
Always the same small talk, over and over.
And Tony's not the only one.
Wir haben
Okay, I work at FedEx. Like, okay, I shouldn't say that. I'm gonna delete that. But y'all probably know either way. But I do like fucking package delivery, right? You know how many times I have to ask for someone's signature? That does not make me want to do cocaine. I don't get it, man. These people are weak, bro. Weak.
Eine Gruppe, die soziale Hemmungen haben, die schüchtern sind, die sagen, ich komme nicht gut in großen Gruppen klar. Da ist Kokain etwas, was ihnen hilft, etwas Hemmung zu verlieren, ein größeres Selbstbewusstsein zu haben.
Dann mach Sport. Geh ins Fitness.
Cocaine heavily stimulates the central nervous system. It boosts the release of dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, among other things.
What the hell?
Inhibitions drop, confidence spikes. Some of these effects actually intensify with frequent use, like the inflated sense of confidence. Others, like the burst of euphoria, fade with time. The brain adapts to the substance and develops a certain tolerance. Zurhold explains that the more you integrate cocaine use into your daily life, the rarer the pleasurable effects become.
Exactly, that's what
To
I'm
feel
saying.
them again,
Life
users
must
have
be-
to take long breaks.
Life must
Frequent
be
and
ass.
excessive use can also have lasting effects on the brain. Studies suggest that cocaine can damage both the structure and function of the brain. Severe cases can even lead to personality changes. Instead of becoming more social, long-term users are often described as increasingly antisocial and narcissistic.
That's what I'm saying.
That stuff destroys your soul. There's no other way to put it.
No shit.
I was almost pushy with my boyfriend on coke and more aggressive. But at the same time, I got super sensitive.
Coke turns you into an animal. I get so aggressive and barbaric. And sometimes I just enjoy just dropping politeness and randomly screaming at people.
Zurhold confirms
I might know somebody who actually might be taking that shit. Just based off of what this last guy said. I just called the guy. He already upset. Like, I just say hello. He already growling and shit over the phone.
that aggression is a common behavioral side effect. Many heavy users eventually stop
Actually, he's skinny as hell too. Actually, the more I think about it, that dude might be on coke, bro. Oh shit.
functioning in groups,
Whoa.
isolating themselves and retreating into compulsive habits like endless YouTube binges or gaming marathons. Lars hasn't left his room for days. He skipped work 3 days in a row. He's basically done nothing but order pizza, scroll through TikTok, and snort coke.
Of course, your
Max
life
would
is
also
ass.
prefer to crash in his couch, but he's forced himself out tonight, and coke helps him cope with larger groups of people.
If I'm invited somewhere, like to a loud bar with 10 people talking at once, I just know I'll need a line beforehand. Otherwise, I can't handle it. All those people talking over each other and that heavy background noise.
Some people are
Something
just
strange
too weak
happens
as
when
hell.
Max does coke. Instead of stimulating him, it calms him down. It slows his thoughts. That's because Max has ADHD.
Then he should at least, like, I'm not advocating for weed, but do weed. Do weed. What's wrong with weed? Was that not enough for you? Or did you just happen to do coke first? Wow. How do you happen to do coke before you do weed? Isn't it like a stepping stone? Like, any drug experts watching this video, can anyone tell me, like, don't you start off with like the light shit?
Of course, I feel more awake in general, but when you have ADHD, everything just starts to.
I have ADHD, clown. I have ADHD bad too. Bad. As a kid, it was even terrible. It was terrible. I could barely sit.
Feel calmer. Because all that stuff that usually floods in, you can suddenly filter out and focus really well.
Yep, I know what you're talking about too.
Max uses coke as a sort of self-prescribed medicine.
But I just
That puts him in the
like,
next user
I don't know.
group,
I use my brain.
self-medicators.
I focus, I try to concentrate.
Zurhold says that for people with
as best
ADHD
as I
or
can,
depression,
no matter how
cocaine
painful
can
it is.
subjectively
And then one day
feel
it
like it
gets,
helps,
at one point it
although
gets
in
better.
reality, it makes it worse. The way cocaine acts is similar to some ADHD meds. Put simply, it stimulates areas of the brain that tend to be underactive in people with ADHD. For example,
I'm so glad my parents didn't give me any medication. They beat it out of me in a good way. In a good way. I'm so glad my father put belt to A instead of giving me ADHD medication. I'm so glad because that's all it took. and I still suffer. I have severe like problems sometimes, man. When it comes to like focusing, concentration, when it comes to anything that requires not determination, but like discipline, I struggle so bad. But every day I work on it. I struggle, but I'm working on it and I'm improving day by day. Everyone should try it out, especially as a kid. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but still, I'm just speaking from personal experience. It's anecdotal arguments, but I hope someone out there, I hope it's my advice, my input is helping.
A cocaine-infused dopamine surge can temporarily compensate for an ADHD-related lack of dopamine,
Congratulations.
making affected users feel calmer and more focused. But this relief can backfire fast. People who get used to solving their problems with cocaine are at a higher risk
Like the best way, in my experience, to combat ADHD is to do physical activities. MMA, get punched in the face. Trust me, after that, you'll be tired. You'll be able to focus. Believe me. After getting punched in the face, getting thrown around, getting tripped, getting choked out, trust me, the ADHD is gone. Believe me. Try it.
Slipping into addiction. Those post-high crashes can deepen depression and even increase the risk of suicidal thoughts.
Depression is gone once
Real help doesn't come from a substance.
In my
It comes from reaching out and getting support. Max started using more and more too. What began as occasionally before going out turned into every day at work.
That's crazy.
If I knew I had work on a larger project, then I'd treat myself to a little bump to get started. Sometimes even in the morning. But most of the time I just start using around midday.
Breakfast. Come on,
That
bro.
puts him in the last and probably the smallest of the four groups, those who do coke to perform. Zurhold explains that this group includes people who need to deliver at work, during sport.
What a fucking loser, bro. You can't perform without taking crack cocaine? Are you serious? Losers, bro. Losers.
Or in any other setting that requires stamina.
Yeah, John
Cocaine
Jones.
doesn't actually increase performance, but it keeps users awake, alert, and on the job longer.
Drink Red Bull. I don't know.
Marco can barely get through work without it anymore. He's self-employed and often works through the night, only crashing around noon the next day.
It's extremely hard for me to keep my sales this high without the substance. It sounds bad, but thanks to coke, I don't depend on any employer.
But you're depending on coke.
This is a feeling many users in the group share.
As a recruiter, I spend days making calls and nights writing emails to potential candidates.
I was heavily addicted for 2
sorry,
years.
Miss
I
Jackson.
just started my own business and just wanted to keep performing.
For a long time, coke had the image of a luxury drug for top-earning, overly ambitious high performers.
Second key to success in this racket is this little baby right here. It's called cocaine.
Terrible.
Right.
But Zurhold says that's changed. Those people still exist, but coke has long since reached other worlds. Shift work, for example.
To make sure we all get home safe from work at the aluminium plant, I need to stay awake and flawless.
The drug is also used in other sectors, like nursing.
I do coke to get through my hospital shifts.
In my first year as a social care worker, I did 0.5 gram per 5-hour shift.
But there's one industry where cocaine seems especially common: restaurants and bars. Starting
you know what? You know what? I can see that. I've worked in many places. That's all I can say. That's all I will say. I will not incriminate anyone.
with bouncers like Tony,
I've already
bartenders,
snitched
This
on
way
one
I
guy.
don't get too drunk when I have a drink with the guests.
waiters,
I could do the work of 2 waiters when I was on it.
That's crazy.
and even cooks.
And I think gastronomy is one of the worst industries for it.
For what? Do they get bonus? Do they get extra pay? Like, what's the I don't know, whatever. I'm pausing way too much. I'm yapping way too much. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, hit that like button, man, because this video was great, and I promise y'all there'll be more on the way, bro. So make sure to hit that button.
Like 70 to 80% of the people there do it.
70 to 80% is crazy.
Men especially use coke, roughly 2 to 3 times as much, according to Zurhold.
Wow.
No matter who wants it, they can get it. Ridiculously easy and incredibly fast. Linda lives in a small town in eastern Germany. For her, Coke is just a phone call away.
One call or a short message is all it takes, especially in small towns. People don't expect that. But I feel like, especially in East Germany, it's really, really easy to get drugs, even hard ones.
It's no different for Tony at the club.
Even if you don't know anyone in the city, you can just walk into a club and get your hands on something in under 5 minutes.
Thank
I
God I'm
promise.
not into that bullshit.
In major European cities like Berlin, Madrid, Vienna, or Amsterdam, so-called drug taxis deliver cocaine right to your door within minutes. In this case, accessibility is part of a much bigger and very serious problem. In other cases, fast and easy access is exactly what you want. Like when you're trying to access your high-end workspace from some picturesque beach cafe halfway across the world. That's where AnyDesk comes in.
All right, get your money, 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 get your money.
Costs roughly 60 to 80 euros. Some estimates put street prices as low as 20 euros per gram in Luxembourg and up to 140 euros per gram in Finland. Producing that same gram costs just 1 to 3 euros. The difference is pocketed by smugglers, middlemen, and dealers. To further boost profits, the product also gets cut and sometimes contaminated with anything that vaguely resembles white powder.
Fentanyl?
Speed, amphetamine, caffeine pills, and milk sugar. But one of the most common cutting agents is levamisole, a medication used to treat parasitic worm infections in large livestock. It looks a lot like cocaine, and once metabolized, it can even mimic some of its effects.
Wow.
But there's also good news. Well, sort of.
Also wir wissen, dass Kokain momentan einen Reinheitsgehalt von 80% hat. Das heißt, es sind 20% Streckmittel drin. Das war mal viel dramatischer.
The 2025 European Drug Report confirms these numbers. Average cocaine purity is on an upward trend and has increased by 34% over the last decade.
That's crazy.
But higher purity poses new dangers. It increases the risk of overdosing. The purer the substance, the smaller the margin for error. If you don't know how to adjust your dose to match the purity, you're in trouble. In many European countries, drug checking, also known as pill testing, has become a key harm reduction practice. Users can go to qualified facilities to anonymously test substances like cocaine for purity and dangerous additives. You can also test your drugs at many clubs and festivals. We've listed some helpful resources for finding testing sites in the description.
I mean, this way, this approach provides jobs. This approach saves lives. This approach could also, I don't know. Honestly, if they pay for the drug checking, provides taxes. So I can see how it's a good way, but like they're supporting the drug use in a way. So I guess there's more pros and cons.
But the purest cocaine, of course, is still found where it all begins. Here, in Colombia, on the eastern slopes of the Andes, grows an inconspicuous green shrub, the coca plant. It's been part of South American indigenous culture for thousands of years. People here were already chewing coca leaves some 4,000 to 8,000 years ago. Ever since, coca leaves have been serving as fuel for exhausting journeys across the towering Andes. The Inca treated the coca plant as sacred. They often used it in rituals and religious ceremonies. In the early 17th century, sailors brought coca leaves from South America to Europe. By the mid-19th century, German chemist Albert Niemann discovered that he could extract a white powder from them. He called it cocaine. In 1862, German pharmaceutical company Merck first produced the substance for commercial sale. A year later, French chemist Angelo Mariani created a medical cocktail made from Bordeaux wine and coca leaves.
Yeah, don't they always say like Hitler was on that kind of stuff?
This special wine was produced by soaking 60 grams of coca leaves in a liter of wine for 10 hours. The alcohol drew out the active compound in the coca leaves. Rumor has it, Mariani originally created the drink as medicine for an actress suffering from depression. Later on, it allegedly became Pope Leo XIII's favorite drink. A few years later, American pharmacist John Pemberton took inspiration from Mariani's concoction. Alcohol was controversial in the US back then, so Pemberton dropped the wine and added cola nuts, which contained caffeine. Then he flavored the bitter drink with lavender, caramel,
Coca-Cola,
cinnamon, and sugar, and topped the bottles off with soda water. In 1886, the first iteration of Coca-Cola was born. At first, a liter of Coca-Cola reportedly contained about 250 milligrams of cocaine. Some sources have even speculated about an insane 3.5 grams per bottle. The exact formula and cocaine content remain a secret to this day. It's possible the drink never actually contained cocaine, but mainly ecgonine, a natural but non-addictive coca compound. Cocaine was already used in medicine before the invention of Coca-Cola, first in analgesic eye drops and later as a local anesthetic. By the late 19th century, cocaine was all over Europe. Snorted or consumed as menthol eucalyptus lozenges to cure sore throats, one pill every 4 to 6 hours, each containing around 3 milligrams of cocaine. Kids were even given cocaine toothache drops.
Hell no, man. What? People back then were crazy, bro. They tried anything and everything.
Sold at the pharmacy, no prescription needed. Then, in 1914, the Harrison Narcotic Act took effect in the US, banning cocaine from soft drinks and over-the-counter drugs. That same year, World War I broke out, and British soldiers started using cocaine as a stimulant. By World War II, German, British, American, and Japanese troops all turned to amphetamines. You may have heard of tank chocolate or Airman's marzipan. Today, the medical use of cocaine is limited to a few rare cases where it's still used as a local anesthetic. You won't find it in sodas or on pharmacy shelves anymore. And yet, global cocaine production is at a historic high. Today, most of the cocaine sold and consumed around the globe comes from just 3 countries: Peru, Bolivia, and above all, Colombia. The coca plants are grown on vast plantations alongside bananas.
But for some reason, out of all 3 countries, they attacked the one that wasn't included. Interesting.
Coffee, and palm oil. For many farmers, coca makes economic sense. The plant is resilient and can be harvested up to 7 times a year. Growing coca is often far more profitable than farming legal crops.
The income I earn from coca allows me and my family to get what we need to live. Only the essentials.
There are different ways to produce cocaine, but all of them start the same way, with harvesting, which is done entirely by hand. First, the leaves are chopped up. Then, they're sprinkled with fertilizer and dusted with lime. The fertilizer helps release the active substance from the coca leaves. The mixture is often soaked in gasoline to boost extraction.
Gasoline?
Most farmers work with little to no protective gear. Then the leaves sit overnight in large barrels or holes in the ground. They're repeatedly doused with gasoline, stirred, and stomped on until the concoction starts to curdle. After the liquid is extracted from the mixture, sulfuric acid and water are added to it. This pulp has to be filtered again until you get this thick paste, the so-called coca paste. In the final stages, adding carbonate salt and diethyl ether produces a white mass that the workers dry by boiling. A few final chemical tweaks create the fine white powder that ends up in millions of noses around the world. In 2022 alone, an estimated 2,700 tons of cocaine were produced in South America. Across the production and supply chains, drug cartels call the shots. For decades, authorities worldwide have been waging a bitter war against them. In Colombia alone, 6 decades of drug-fueled conflict have killed around 450,000 people, displaced.
I wonder why they don't just pull an El Salvador. Why not just do the El Salvadorian thing? Didn't they lock that stuff down? Why don't they do that?
More than 8 million and forced tens of thousands of children out of school. Some South American countries have been partly labeled failed states. In these regions, extremely rich and powerful cartels have successfully infiltrated and taken control of the government.
Que la guerra contra las drogas ha fracasado rotundamente.
When we think of cartels, we immediately jump to Pablo Escobar and Colombia's Medellin or Cali outfits. But those big Colombian cartels were dismantled in the 1990s. The resulting power vacuum has been filled by Mexican syndicate. They dominate the global cocaine trade to this day. The most important players are the Sinaloa cartel and the fast-rising
From El Chapo, right?
Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG. On the ground, they partner with criminal guerrilla groups, the Gulf Clan, Colombia's National Liberation Army, or ELN, or the Central General Staff, EMC. For international distribution, they cooperate with some of the world's most notorious mafia networks, from Chinese triads and the Albanian mafia to Italy's Ndrangheta. These criminal organizations each manage local retail in their respective domestic markets. South America has become one of the world's major hubs for organized crime. From here, cocaine fans out to every corner of the globe. There are countless ways to move cocaine across borders. Trafficking to North America is often handled via undeclared flights or clandestine fishing boats. It's a never-ending cat-and-mouse game between traffickers and law enforcement agents, one that forces smugglers to get creative. Some cartels have started to build their own semi-submersible high-tech vessels. We made a whole video about these so-called narco-subs.
I seen one of those videos. If y'all know what I'm talking about, actually, I could try to show y'all. Let me see. There was a video I seen, right, where one of the Navy SEALs or something like that, Marines, whatever, they stood on this submarine and he started knocking on it. Let me see. Military. Submarine cartel. Surfacing. Yeah, or something like that. Boom. This is what I'm talking about. Here. Raw Coast Guardman jumps onto narco submarine loaded with drugs in the Pacific Ocean. This is exactly what they're talking about. That's so tough. That's so tough. What a job. Like, how the hell are they able to afford submarines, bro? Come on.
That's gonna be hard to get on. Alto Tupaco!
This is so badass. Watch this. That's so badass. That's so badass. I can't lie. All right, let's get back to the video, man. My bad.
The link's in the description. Most of the cocaine heading to Europe is hidden in massive cargo ships. This contraband has been found inside all kinds of objects: books, surfboards, car tires, pumpkins, and even inside walking aids for the elderly. But one hiding place still reigns supreme for all EU-bound traffic: banana crates. About 200 million banana boxes are imported into the EU each year. Finding the ones stuffed with cocaine is like looking for a proverbial needle in a haystack. The North Sea has become one of the main entry points. The port of Antwerp, in Belgium, is widely considered Europe's biggest drug gateway, followed by Rotterdam in the Netherlands. But Hamburg, Germany's biggest port, is quickly catching up. These German customs officers are desperately trying to find a few kilos of coke hidden somewhere inside a giant cargo ship. But even if they do find the stash, it'll barely put a dent in the avalanche of illegal drugs moving across borders. In 2004, German authorities seized just under a ton of cocaine. By 2024, that number had jumped to over 40 tons.
Wow.
This is in line with a Europe-wide trend. In 2023, a total of 419 tons of cocaine were seized, marking the 7th consecutive annual high.
Tatsächlich stellen wir und die Polizei auch fest, dass egal wie viel Kokain wir sicherstellen, das hat keine Auswirkung auf den Straßenverkaufspreis oder auf die da zur Verfügung stehende Menge. Also das tatsächlich, es ist unbeschreiblich viel.
And along with this white powder moving into Europe comes another harmful phenomenon: violence.
Dude, what an edit.
This is a street in the heart of Amsterdam, filled with bars and restaurants. It's July 2021, just before 7:30 p.m. A man in a light-colored suit walks down the street, eyes fixed on his phone. His name is Peter de Vries. He's one of the Netherlands' most famous crime reporters, a familiar face on TV when it comes to the mafia or organized crime. Right now, he's investigating a Moroccan group known as the Mokra Mafia, another organization heavily involved in cocaine trafficking. De Vries is advising the key witness in a major trial. Shortly after the case began, the witness's brother and lawyer were both murdered.
Ooh.
De Vries has just left a TV studio.
Ooh. Wow. Wow. Yeah, man. I'm for Sharia law. I'm sorry. Y'all can say what y'all want, but man, like, seeing shit like this, bro, you never know who you talking to. I'll tell you what, you never know who you're talking to. That's why I'm Muslim, man, and I wish everyone believed in God and had the fear of God within them, because this is the result of not fearing the consequences of the afterlife. These guys they're not scared of anything. Not humans, not prison, and especially not God, man. So, hey, this is the result. Y'all want to be atheists? Here you go, man. Here you go.
He's heading to a parking garage to get his car. Seconds after he walks down the
just took the person's life who actually tried to help you. That was like, it's crazy, bro.
Street, he's followed by a police car. After the car passes around the corner, 5 shots are fired. De Vries is hit several times.
And then people, you know what I hate the most? I hate when people tell me, oh, all the war and all the crime and all this and all that is because of religion. Like, dude, come on, bro. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. This is like, look at this, bro. Poor guy.
At least once in the head. It's a targeted killing. He's rushed to the hospital in critical condition.
These are guys that
and dies 9 days later.
Fear of God within them.
A man who stood for justice. That is exactly what is so unacceptable. That this horrible injustice happened to him.
In 2024, 3 men are sentenced to up to 28 years in prison for his murder.
Berichten zufolge ließ ihn der angeklagte mutmaßliche Mafia-Boss auf eine Todesliste setzen.
Organized crime long ago gained a foothold in Europe's major cities. In 2016,
severed head found outside Amsterdam cafe linked to drugs gang war. Gruesome find. The discovery of decapitated corpse of known gang member and several.
A severed head was found outside an Amsterdam cafe alleged to be a hangout
This is like
for drugs.
enough to convince me not to sell drugs. I don't get people that are like, you know what, fuck this, you know, I'm gonna do it anyway. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm good. I do not need to risk this shit.
Dealers. In Sweden, gang and drug-related violence has been claiming more and more lives in recent years. In some cases, even teenagers were recruited as hitmen.
Thank God.
In 2024, several explosions and shootings in the German city of Cologne were linked to drug-related gang violence. According to the European Monitoring Center for Drugs and Drug Addiction, violence and homicide are major manifestations of the illegal drug trade. A Dutch research team found that these killings are often acts of compensation for failure to pay for or deliver drugs. Other attacks are meant to intimidate rivals or assert a certain position in the scene. It's actually a lot like it is in the movies. Cocaine represents deadly narcissism and toxic masculinity, but also power and wealth in general.
And also atheism, don't forget that.
Luxury and excess, the ultimate fantasy
This is all
of defiance
haram.
and freedom. That image still seems to appeal to a lot of people, and not all of them are criminals.
What does that mean?
3:52 a.m. Linda's moved on to an after party. Tony's shift is almost over. Marco's hopefully done too. Nick is still playing World of Warcraft. Lars and Max have already called it a night. A new day begins.
Depending on how the stuff was cut, I sometimes end up with a bloody nose and a bit of a headache.
I actually regret it the next day, like always. And I keep regretting it for a few days after too, because I feel sluggish.
So post-Coke
My nose hurts.
clarity, huh?
Everything kind of tastes like Coke. Life just feels a bit dull, with less drive and less joy.
Es ist tatsächlich auch so, dass nach dem Konsum einige Leute von Depressionen berichten, von schlechter Stimmung, von Trübsinn, ne, von Antriebslosigkeit. Also das ist natürlich von Mensch zu Mensch verschieden, aber das ist tatsächlich relativ häufig, dass sowas berichtet wird. Und das kann schon auch mal 2 Tage dauern.
That's why long breaks between doses are so important. Because for those who use too much too often, the side effects can hit hard. Many heavy users experience heart palpitations. Extreme cases can lead to full-on heart attacks. Some people get paranoid because they feel like something's crawling under their skin, as if they had insects inside their body. Over time, Lars's cocaine use has spiraled out of control. He cut off contact with his family and friends and ignored their calls. At some point, his roommate felt obliged to call his parents. They cried on the phone when he broke it to them. Lars is seriously addicted to coke. He really needs your help. Today, they're picking him up from rehab. They're in tears again, but this time it's tears of joy. Lars has been clean for 6 weeks.
Congratulations,
and he's
Lars.
determined to keep it that way.
Good.
Max has also pulled the plug.
For me, it was about money, health, and having to constantly hide it.
You know what? Let me tell y'all one thing though. In life, the best solution to all your problems is just to prevent them. That's it. You don't gotta try it. Don't do it. That's why a lot of y'all need God. I don't want to be a preacher or nothing. I'm probably annoying to all you weirdos that are not humble enough to hear this message. But a lot of y'all need God. Just don't do it in the first place. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Before you decide to do something, just think about it real quick. Think about the pros. Think about the cons. Think about if it's truly actually enjoyable, if it's all a deception, if it's all actually fake. Think about the people who care about you and love you. Because it's not worth it. It's not worth it, man. Be humble enough to think that there is a being out there that created us. Don't think we are the gods. Don't think there's nothing above us. There's absolutely something above us watching over us, because we are not the highest form of intelligence. Whether you're an atheist, Christian, Hindu, it doesn't matter. You should know, just purely based off of logic, there is not a limit out there until something becomes limitless. And that thing requires intelligence, and you can't deny it. You cannot deny it. So just take a step back and think, hey, what are the consequences? And is this life in front of me real? Will it last forever? Absolutely not. You will die one day. So make sure you play your cards right, y'all, and just do the right thing. That's all I got to say. I hope I made sense, y'all. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, man, and I'm out, man. That's it for me today. I'll see y'all.